Hi, I'm Chef Jonathan Collins, and as a professional chef, I'm always on the lookout for high-quality ingredients produced by people I can trust. Food safety, responsible animal care, and traceability are important to my guests, family, and friends, and an integral part of my menu planning. Verified Canadian pork is locally farmed, federally approved, and nationally distributed by Canadian farmers and processors who take a great deal of pride in the food they bring to the world's table. What goes better with crispy pork than caramelized onions? This dish of pork belly and these beautiful Cippolini onions is a perfect match. Pork belly is easy to use, and if you look at the marbling in there, you'll see why it tastes so incredible. This is a familiar cut. Most people know it as bacon, but the pork belly still has the skin on, and we need to slice through it to crisp it up. Using a really sharp utility knife, I'm just going to start by scoring through that skin. Make parallel slices into the skin, but not all the way down to the flesh. Turn the pork belly 90 degrees, and then make scores again in the opposite direction. With the pork belly scored with those familiar cuts, it's time to preheat this heavy bottom cast iron pan. It's important to use a heavy bottom pan that will hold the heat and it'll give us a really good sear. So medium-high heat. And that'll only take about 4 to 5 minutes to heat up. I want to add some really powerful flavors here. This is a bit of a blank canvas, lots of heavy fat. So that's where the fennel seed comes in. I'm going to start by putting some whole fennel seeds on top. Plenty of fennel. And then some flaked sea salt. And then all of those crevices need to be filled. A little bit of black pepper. And what happens is as I begin to work that salt into all of those slices, it'll make sure to get rid of all of the moisture, and because it does, it'll help to make a beautiful crackling finish. Now for some fresh thyme. It's easy to strip the leaves off, and thyme is a perfect match for pork. So we get the spiciness from the pepper, and the salt will bring out the moisture, but the thyme will add fragrance. These essential oils that are trapped in the leaves are going to go into that meat and make it taste just incredible. And once you have a nice coating of that thyme, I'm just going to take and drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Helps to keep everything together. And just press that down. And then remember, we have a second side. I'm just going to take and mop all that up. Season the second side. A little bit of black pepper. With all that flavor mopped up, we're going to gently roll this into the pan, skin side down. Saute the skin until crispy and golden brown, then turn and do the same to the second side. We'll need a flavor base to put in the pan for when we're braising, so I've got carrot, celery, and onion. That's a classic flavor base called mirepoix, and I need an equal amount of each. So I'm just going to do a fairly rough cut of each so that it'll stand up to the sauté, but release all that flavor into my dish. With the flavor base finished, I want to add some garlic in a very powerful way. So I'm just going to take a whole head and literally just slice it in half. In addition to that, I'll also be sure to toss a couple bay leaves in. So that's my flavor base for the pork belly when it comes off. But what I want to do now is blanch these Cippolini onions. Now the Cippolini onion is a little bit difficult to peel. So what I do is I've got a boiling pot of water, and I'm just going to gently set the onions in. It won't take more than 20 to 30 seconds for them to soften up, and then I'll pull them out and peel them. With both sides crispy and golden brown, I can pull the pork belly out and let it rest while I saute the veg. With that pan good and hot and my pork belly out, I want to put the mirepoix, and I'm going to start by putting the garlic in. I'm going to saute these until they're golden brown and nice and tender, developing another layer of flavor. Now it's time to deglaze with some white wine. The white wine will bring up any of the flavor underneath and also add flavor with that oak character. That smells beautiful. Now I'm going to place the pork belly skin side up on top of the vegetables. I'm going to cover and then braise that until tender. These Cippolini onions are just perfect, nicely sweet, and it'll be a really beautiful complement to this dish. Now, after just a couple hours, oh, that's so beautiful. After a couple hours of braising, that pork belly is perfect. Let's have a slice, a look, see. Oh, and there you have it. Crispy pork belly with caramelized Cippolini onions.